And Woody likes the crooked cock.
That's another one of the questions that I got a lot on my Twitch stream that I did. By the way, it's FPS Kyle on Twitch if you guys want to follow. I think we're at like almost 20,000 followers. Hopefully we can get that affiliate and partnership taken care of this month. They were asking like, what's the like what do you feel like when you're on TRT? Like when does it kick in, and what is that kick in like feeling? I'm always really careful about placebo effects with anything. But I'll say this, like, I think it took about 6 weeks. And like 6 weeks in, I felt like I was going through like puberty again. I was so goddamn horny. Like that was like the main thing that was like a feeling or like something that it wasn't like, oh, I feel powerful now. Like that doesn't happen. Like it's not like, oh, I just I went to grab the milk out of the fridge and it just exploded in my hand because I'm so powerful now. Like get out of here.
The best way I can describe it is it feels like you just hit puberty like a second time.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like I hit puberty again. I got a little bit of acne on my shoulders, and I got just super fucking horny. Like I felt like I hadn't felt since I was like 14 years old or something like that. Just like in bed thinking about titties. He's like
35 years old.
Great. It's great if you can get some titties at 14. Not all of us could get titties readily at 14, right? You're just like, man, I wish I could get some titties. You're thinking about like that ugly girl. I bet she'd let me touch her titty. Oh, what if she doesn't let me touch her titty though? That's gonna be so humiliating. I can't even touch an ugly titty. But it was that level of horniness at 34 years old.
Was the acne horrible? Because you dealt with acne as a teenager, so I imagine if you already have predisposition.
Yeah, this time around I didn't get it on my face. I got it like on the tops of my shoulders a little bit, and on my back a little bit. And I talked to Derek a little bit about that, but he's like you. He cheated the world of acne, right? Like
Accutane,
he did Accutane. So that might be the only avenue in the world that I feel like I know a little bit more than him on, because like I think the Epsom salt baths help like dry a lot of it out. Tea tree oil helped a ton. Regular exfoliation, but not going overboard with it, because if you go overboard with exfoliation, you get really inflamed. And like 10% benzoyl peroxide, like. I found a nice
daily thing you did to
get
acne away. Okay,
oh, yeah.
So it would have been an issue if you weren't on top of it.
Yeah, I don't know how big of an issue. Like okay. I'm, you know me. I'm always.
You like to be perfect.
Yeah,
Your administration frequency also helped reduce the potential for breakouts too, because he was keeping his blood levels like really stable with daily administrations versus a lot of TRT clinics will prescribe one shot like. Here's a shot every 1 to 2 weeks, and your levels go like fucking this, and then they go down, and then they go like this, and they go down. So you get like way higher spikes in estrogen and DHT, and just everything that could go wrong from taking your test is exacerbated when you introduce just a ridiculous amount to your system at one time. And ultimately, when you pin daily, I'm not saying you should do that or everyone does that because it's a nuisance to deal with after a while, but the more stable your blood serum concentrations are, the less aberrations you have, the more representative it would be if you had like natural testosterone like pulse out of your balls. You know what I mean? So that's like replicating more natural production. You get less side effects in general.
That's another one of those things where I don't know. I wanted to like squeeze that last 1/10 of a percentage of like, growth efficacy. Or efficacy. Yeah. Woody's getting the
there you go.
I've watched a lot of More Plates, More Dates.
It was like, obviously you don't want any of the like hallmark side
drinking
effects.
A Bang Energy at 7 p.m.
Hell yeah, I wish
Jesus
I had one.
Christ.
I still
it's 5:12 here, but okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, then that's okay.
So like, I just felt like pinning every single day would help me keep like the most consistent, stable blood serum that is possible. I mean, I guess you could do twice a day, but now you're just in crazy town, right? But like, because almost nobody does every day. Almost everyone who's like super serious about it does like every other day, and then like and the vast majority is doing twice a week or something like that. But I'm already pinning the carnitine every single day, and compared to pinning a milliliter of carnitine into your ass every day, shooting a few units into your delt is nothing.
Yeah.
from Kyle's Twitch, someone said, hey, is there a way to do test other than needle, which Kyle's calling pinning? And Kyle answered quickly, said, not a good one. But now that we have Derek here, if someone didn't want to pin, would you tell them stop being a pussy, or would you talk about alternatives, or talk to me?
Yeah, so like the only other viable alternative really would be like there's like nasal testosterones, but those are going to be like in and out of your system very quickly, and you're not going to be able to build up enough of a serum concentration to get the same kind of an effect. There's also the transdermals, like you can apply cream or gels, but how many people want to apply cream to their, like the best way to absorb it, to be honest, and it sounds fucking ridiculous, is applying it to your scrotum. So like who wants to literally like slap a goddamn thing of cream under your ball sack like every single day, potentially twice a day too, and then have to avoid getting that on your kids, on your wife, on your whatever.
That's the best part.
What, you have kids? You know how it is. Oh, yeah, Colin touched my scrotum again.
Sometimes I just drag my ball sack across the whole family.
Oh, fatherhood, am I right?
Not again. In like 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to have to tell you to stop. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Like my tea.
Like I'm sure it's happened to somebody who's like putting that cream on their balls and then like forgets about it, and like their girlfriend is like licking their balls and she's getting a fat dose of tea every.
She comes up with a mustache when she's blowing it,
and like all of a sudden, like
Kyle's sex drive. It'd be a good thing.
Yeah, sure. Like I just imagine she's just like, I don't know, honey, my clit is just enormous. I'm getting hot flashes all the time, and I'm angry.
And I'm like, damn, and your opinions are starting to make sense.
Yeah, like, and there's also like they can do those pellets, I think, that they inject, right? Like,
yeah, that's like the worst way to do it though, because it's like you can't really control. Like it's basic, like it's like the same thing with girls and birth control getting jabbed into their arm, and then it's slowly bleeded out over the course of months or whatever it is. You can't really control the proportion of release, and you're not going to easily be able to manipulate your dose, because it's like if you're starting a new protocol of test, you might need to tweak some things. Maybe you have excessive aromatization estrogen, you need to dial it back, or maybe, I don't know, whatever the reason is that you need to reach your optimal dose. Maybe you need more to achieve symptom relief. But if you have a fucking pellet like stuck in you, like what do? You can't really do anything at that point.
But what if you're deep into it, right? Like let's fast forward and make it to 2023 Kyle, who knows exactly what dosage he wants. Yeah,
you wouldn't know the pellet dose compared to the injection dose. It's like a totally different thing.
Oh, you can't just use your prior experience and get it right.
Like his dose applied to his balls would not be the same, for example. It would be totally different.
Yeah. Okay. And it would be experimental. Like we would be like rubbing different amounts on my balls for like months.
To be clear, I was talking about the pellet though. Like
same thing.
Yeah, same thing. You'd have to literally put a pellet into you and then go get your blood tested multiple times and see, where it's at, see if you have symptom relief during these points with these blood levels. And ultimately, if you want to manipulate it, it's like, what do you do? Like unimplant the thing?
This was me going on my own thought process, which can sometimes be wildly off, but it's like, if pinning 3 times a week is good and daily is even better, then a pellet must be the ultimate constant level release.
Well, this is where you would use like the ester. It's like basically like a molecular chain attached to the testosterone molecule that your body cleaves off to then like release the testosterone into circulation. The longer that ester chain is, the more stable it'll like bleed into your system over a certain amount of time. So that's why with prescriptions, you typically will get prescribed testosterone enanthate or testosterone cypionate. These are long esters that last in your body for like a month. So it's more optimal still to have, daily administrations, because you're still going to get those little spikes every time you pin. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, if you wanted to do like once a week, you might be able to get away with it. I understand what you're saying, though, with a pellet. It's like self-regulated, you would think, where it just like slowly bleeds.
Like over 6 months or a year, like some long period.
No, like it's widely viewed as like the least effective treatment option. Yeah.
Okay.
What is I guess there's the science isn't there yet to effectively do it just with a pill. Like, is there a reason for that?
Yeah, it gets like mostly broken down when you ingest it. So a lot of these hormones, like a lot of the oral steroids, they have something called 17 alpha alkylation, which basically makes them liver toxic. And the reason they're liver toxic is because if you don't make them liver toxic, your liver will literally break it down into nothingness and it won't actually survive ingestion to then do something. Mm-hmm. So when you're using oral, especially like even birth control, people don't realize that it's not really good for your liver. Like it's not good for your body necessarily to be ingesting these like, oral compounds. So I'm not saying estrogen or birth control is, as liver toxic as an oral steroid necessarily, but ultimately with testosterone, when you ingest it orally, it doesn't survive it significantly enough to really get to levels that would give you symptom relief.
I ended on that note. I love the wordplay.
That was the best shit I've ever heard.